Adjust column widths so cell contents fit neatly into worksheet cells, or to ensure desired columns fit onto your screen or page. Click the column heading for column C. In the Cells group, click the Format button. The Format menu opens with options for changing row and column dimensions, setting visibility, organizing sheets, and protecting sheets and cells. On the Format menu, click Column Width. The Column Width dialog box opens. The current column width is 13. Type 15 in the column width box. Click OK. The column widens to 15 characters. Absolute references are often used in formulas that calculate percentages or share of total. Select cell C6. Type $sign in cell C6. Excel will enter a formula in cell C6. Click cell B6. Excel adds B6 as an argument in the formula. Type the / symbol after the B6 cell reference. Click cell B18. The formula in cell C6 now reads $B6 / B18, which means Excel will divide the value in cell B6 by the value in cell B18. Press the F4 key. Excel changes the relative cell reference B18 to absolute cell reference $B $18. If you copy this formula into the cell below, C7, the reference to cell B18 will remain static, while the cell reference in the numerator will change to B7. Press Enter. Use the average function to quickly calculate average scores, salaries, sales, grades, and more. Select cell B18. Type $AV in cell B18. The Formula Autocomplete list displays functions whose names are approximate alphabetic matches to the typed letters. In the Formula Autocomplete list, double-click Average. Excel inserts the average function into the formula. Position the mouse pointer over cell B5. Press and hold the left mouse button as you drag the pointer downward until it is over cell B16, and then release the mouse button. Excel enters the range B5 through B16 into the formula as the average function's argument. Type closed parenthesis in cell B18 to complete the formula. Press Enter. Excel calculates the average monthly sales and returns the result in cell B18. Use the if function to sort through a list of values to determine which ones meet a certain criterion, such as achieving a minimum score or grade. Assign one result to values that meet your criteria, such as yes, and another for those that do not, such as no. Select cell F4. Click the Formulas tab on the ribbon. In the Function Library group, click the Insert Function button. Excel inserts an equal sign in the formula bar, indicating you will be inserting a formula in cell F4. The Insert Function dialog box opens. Click the Or Select a Category arrow. Excel displays a list of function categories. Click Logical. Excel displays a list of logical functions in the Select a Function box. Click If. Click OK. The Function Arguments dialog box opens with text boxes for entering function arguments. The insertion point is in the Logical Test text box, which will contain the argument that represents the condition the function will check for. Type E4 greater than sign 1 0 0 0 0 0 in the Logical Test box. The if function will test for a value greater than 100,000 in cell E4. Press Tab. The insertion point moves to the Value If True box. Type Yes in the Value If True box. If the value in cell E4 is greater than 100,000, the if function will return a yes value in cell F4. Excel automatically inserts quotation marks around text values, but the quotation marks won't appear in the value returned by the formula. Press Tab. Type No in the Value If False box. If the value in cell E4 is less than or equal to 100,000, the if function will return a no value in cell F4. Click OK. Excel returns a result of yes in cell F4, and the completed formula for the if function appears in the formula bar. Use the max function to find the largest value in a range of cells, such as the highest test score, price, salary, customer rating, and more. Click cell D19. On the formula bar, click the Insert Function button. Excel inserts an equal sign in the formula bar, indicating you will be inserting a formula in cell D19. The Insert Function dialog box opens. Click the Or Select a Category arrow. Excel displays a list of function categories. Click Statistical. The Select a Function box displays a list of statistical functions. Click Max. Click OK. The Function Arguments dialog box opens with text boxes for max function arguments. The insertion point is in the number 1 text box. Type D4 through D17 in the number 1 box. The number 1 argument represents the range that Excel will check for the largest value. Click OK. In cell D19, Excel returns the maximum value, 11, found in the range D4 through D17. Use the sum function to quickly add values in columns or rows without having to enter each cell address. Select cell B16. In the editing group, click the AutoSum button. Excel inserts the sum formula into cell B16 with the default cell range B4 through B15. Press Enter. Excel totals the values in cells B4 through B15 and returns the result to cell B16. Merge and center cell contents, such as table titles, so the title extends across all columns in the table. Position the mouse pointer over cell A2. Press and hold the left mouse button, drag the mouse to the right until it is over cell D2, and then release the mouse button. In the Alignment group, click the Merge and Center button. Excel merges cells A2 through D2 into a single cell and centers the text within the merged cell. Use the Quick Analysis tool to apply popular conditional formats such as data bars and icon sets to a selected cell or range. Click and drag to select range B4 through B15. The range is selected. At the bottom right of the range, the Quick Analysis button appears. Click the Quick Analysis button. The Quick Analysis gallery opens. The Formatting tab is selected by default and displays a list of conditional formatting options. Click Data Bars. Excel adds data bars to the range. Chart elements can help describe and clarify chart contents. You can customize the appearance of a chart to suit your specific needs by adding an element such as a chart title. Click the chart. Excel activates the Chart Tools tabs on the ribbon, as well as the Chart Elements, Chart Styles, and Chart Filters buttons to the right of the chart. Click the Chart Tools Design tab on the ribbon. The Chart Tools Design tab contains options for chart layout, style, type, and more. On the Chart Tools Design tab, in the Chart Layouts group, click the Add Chart Element button. The Chart Element Gallery opens, displaying a list of available elements. In the Chart Element Gallery, point to Chart Title. The Chart Title flyout menu opens. On the Chart Title flyout menu, click Above Chart. Excel inserts a chart title above the chart with the placeholder text Chart Title. You can modify the placeholder text if desired. Not all chart elements will contain placeholder text. Use axis titles to identify the data categories in a chart and the units of measurement being used. Click the chart. Excel activates the Chart Tools tabs on the ribbon, as well as the Chart Elements, Chart Styles, and Chart Filters buttons to the right of the chart. Click the Chart Elements button. The Chart Elements gallery lists available chart elements. Those elements currently displayed in the chart are checked. Click the Axis Titles checkbox. A check mark appears in the box. Excel adds Axis Title text boxes containing placeholder text to the primary vertical and horizontal axes. The horizontal Axis Title text box is selected. Type $$ in the horizontal Axis Title text box. The text appears in the formula bar. It will also appear in the horizontal axis title text box when the text box is deselected. Click the vertical axis title text box. The title $dollars appears in the horizontal axis title text box. Now you can add a title to the vertical axis. Type client name in the text box. Click cell C3. Excel completes the axis title entry and deselects the chart. Apply a chart style based on personal preference or choose a style to match other formatting in the worksheet. Click the chart. Excel activates the Chart Tools tabs on the ribbon, as well as the Chart Elements, Chart Styles, and Chart Filters buttons to the right of the chart. Click the Chart Tools Design tab. The Chart Tools Design tab includes options for changing chart layouts, styles, data, type, and location. In the Chart Styles group, click the More button. The full Chart Styles gallery appears. In the gallery, click Style 5. Excel applies Style 5 to the chart. Use the currency number format when you want to display numbers as dollar values. Choose 2 decimal places to show dollars and cents, or round numbers to the nearest dollar by choosing no decimal places. Click and drag to select range C4 through C15. In the number group, click the number format arrow. The number format menu opens. On the menu, click Currency. Excel applies the currency format to the cells in the range. The numbers in each cell are preceded by a dollar sign and display 2 decimal places. You can move a chart to another worksheet to keep it with other charts in the workbook or to separate it from the source data. Click the chart. Excel activates the Chart Tools tabs on the ribbon, as well as the Chart Elements, Chart Styles, and Chart Filters buttons to the right of the chart. Click the Chart Tools Design tab on the ribbon. In the Location group, click the Move Chart button. The Move Chart dialog box opens. The Object In option button is selected. You will move the chart as a chart object to a different worksheet. Click the Object In arrow. Excel displays a list of worksheets in the active workbook. You will specify where you want to move the chart. Click 3-year sales forecast. Excel will move the chart as an object into the specified worksheet. Click OK. Excel moves the chart and displays the specified worksheet. Create compact information within a small space by adding a sparkline to your worksheet. Sparklines show trends in the data in nearby cells. Click cell E5. You will place the sparkline in this location. Click the Insert tab on the ribbon. In the Sparklines group, click the Line button. The Create Sparklines dialog box opens. The Location Range text box contains the value $E, $5 because cell E5 was selected when you clicked the Line button. You need to select a data range for the sparkline. In the worksheet, click and drag to select cells B5 through D5. Release the mouse button. A flashing border indicates that the range B5 through D5 is selected, and the range appears in the Data Range text box. In the Create Sparklines dialog box, click OK. Excel inserts a line type sparkline into cell E5, and the Sparkline Tools Design tab appears on the ribbon. The sparkline indicates an upward trend in the data from 2020 to 2022. Use a clustered column chart when you want to compare groups of data side by side in a visual representation. Position the mouse pointer over cell A4. Press and hold the left mouse button as you drag the pointer down and to the right until it is over cell D8. Release the mouse button. Click the Insert tab on the ribbon. In the Charts group, click the Insert Column or Bar Chart button. A gallery of 2D and 3D column and bar charts appears. In the gallery, in the 3D column section, click the 3D clustered column chart type, the first 3D column type. Excel inserts a 3D clustered column chart in the worksheet based on the range A4 through D8. Use a header to display helpful information such as the title of a worksheet. Dynamic header elements such as the current date and worksheet name update if the specified content changes. On the status bar, click the Page Layout button. Excel switches to Page Layout view. Click the center section of the header placeholder, which contains the text Add Header. The three header sections appear. The center section is active. The Header and Footer Tools Design tab appears on the ribbon. Click the Header and Footer Tools Design tab. You can quickly add header content using predefined elements available on this tab. In the Header and Footer Elements group, click the Sheet Name button. Excel inserts the code for the worksheet name in the center section of the header. When you deselect the header section, the sheet name appears as text rather than code. Click the right header section. The insertion point moves to the right header section, and the sheet name you entered appears in the center header section. You will now add content to the right header section using both a built-in header element and text you type yourself. Type last viewed _ in the right header section. In the Header and Footer Elements group, click the Current Date button. Excel adds the code for the current date after the text you typed. In the worksheet, click cell A4. Excel deselects the header. You can now view how the header content will look on a printed page. Sorting your Excel table can arrange data in the order best suited to your needs. Sort your data by last name or other field to speed up your workflow by placing the records in a predictable order. Click cell E10. You want to sort the table on the last name field, so you need to select a cell in the table column for that field. In the Editing group on the Home tab, click the Sort and Filter button. The Sort and Filter menu opens. On the menu, click Sort A to Z. Excel sorts the table in ascending alphabetical order by the last name field. Using table filters can simplify your work as you analyze data such as a list of clients in a geographical area. Filtering on criteria such as a city lets you reduce the number of records that appear for you to work with. In the table, click the filter arrow for the city column. Excel displays a menu of sort and filter options.
On the menu, click the Select All checkbox to deselect all values. When a filter is not applied, all values in a field are selected. You need to deselect all values before you can apply a filter. Click the Chicago checkbox. You apply a filter by checking the box or boxes for the values you want to display. You will filter the table to show only records with the city of Chicago. Click OK. Excel applies the filter and temporarily hides all records that do not meet the filter criteria. The filter arrow changes to a funnel shape to indicate a filter is applied to that field. Use the AND function to determine if certain conditions are true before you assign values to related worksheet cells. Click cell H4. You want to enter a formula here using the AND function to determine if the employee is eligible for a bonus. Click the Formulas tab on the ribbon. In the Function Library group, click the Logical button. The Logical menu opens. Click AND. The AND function arguments dialog box opens. You will enter two logical conditions for the function here. Type F4 greater than sign 3 in the logical 1 text box. The first condition to be met is whether the employee's performance rating value in cell F4 is greater than 3. When you finish typing the condition, Excel returns a value of true next to the logical 1 text box. This condition is met. Press Tab. The insertion point moves to the logical 2 text box. Type G4 greater than sign 4 in the logical 2 text box. The second condition tests whether the employee's tenure value in cell G4 is greater than 4 years. Excel returns a value of true for this condition as well. Click OK. Excel returns the result of the AND function in cell H4. Because all of the specified conditions were met, Excel returns a value of true in cell H4. If either or both of the conditions were not met, Excel would have returned a value of false. Converting a range of cells to an Excel table allows you to sort and filter data quickly and easily using options on a drop-down menu above each column. Click and drag to select range A4 through E19. You want to be able to quickly sort and filter data in this range, so you will convert the range to a table. On the Home tab, in the Styles group, click the Format as Table button. The Format as Table gallery appears. In the Medium section, click the blue Table Style Medium 2 option, Row 1, Option 2. The Format as Table dialog box opens. The selected range is entered as the table range, which you will accept. Because you selected the column headings in your range, the My Table Has Headers checkbox is already selected. In the Format as Table dialog box, click OK. Excel converts the range to a table and formats it as specified. Locating a record is much easier if the records are sorted. Using the sort row in the Query Design Grid is an efficient way to sort records. In the Query Design Grid, click the Sort cell for the last name field. The Sort Cell arrow appears for the last name field. Click the Sort Cell arrow. In the list of possible sort orders, click Ascending. An ascending A to Z sort order is now specified for the last name field. Records will be presented by this query in ascending order based on the values in the last name field. In the Results group, click the Run button. Datasheet View confirms that the records are sorted in ascending sort order on the values in the last name field. Entering a record into a datasheet is an activity you will perform many times, both when creating your database and when updating it. In Datasheet view, in the Records group on the Home tab, click the New button. The cursor is positioned in the first field of the new record, ready for you to enter a new record. Type M-13 and press Tab. The new record is entered into the datasheet. You can press Tab or Enter to move from field to field as you are entering the record. Type Shin and press Tab. Type Lee and press Tab. Type shin.lee@rl.cengage.com and press Tab. The new record is complete, and the focus moves to the next row of the table. Setting a primary key field for each table in your relational database helps prevent problems when tables are joined. Using the primary key button in Design View is an efficient way to assign the primary key as you double-check the structure of your table. In Table Design View, click the Client ID field. In the Tools group on the Table Tools Design tab, click the Primary Key button. The Client ID field is set as the primary key field, as evidenced by the key symbol to the left of the field name. You will need to save this change when you close the table. Using the Simple Query Wizard is a fast and efficient way to create a custom query with only the fields you want to include. The Simple Query Wizard is the most common query wizard and helps you create a select query. Click the Create tab on the ribbon. In the Queries group, click the Query Wizard button. The Query Wizard starts and prompts you to choose a Query Wizard tool. With Simple Query Wizard selected, click OK. The Query Wizard now prompts you for the tables or queries on which to build the new query. Click the Tables Queries list arrow, then click Table Clients. The fields in the Clients table appear in the Available Fields list. The Client ID field is selected by default. Click the Select Single Field button. The Client ID field appears in the Selected Fields list. The Client Name field is now highlighted in the Available Fields list. Click the Select Single Field button. The Client Name field moves to the Selected Fields list, and the Manager ID field becomes highlighted. You do not want to include the Manager ID field in your new query. In the Available Fields list, click Discount. Click the Select Single Field button. The Discount field moves to the Selected Fields list. Click Next. The wizard prompts you to choose a detail query with every field of every record included, or choose a summary query. You will accept the default detail option. Click Next. The query wizard prompts you for a query title that becomes the query's name. Click in the text box and enter Client Discounts for the query title. You will accept the default setting to open the query to view information. Click Finish to complete the query wizard. The new query opens in Datasheet view. Creating a query based on multiple tables lets you select and order only the fields you want to see, rather than including entire tables in the query. Design View gives you the flexibility of sorting and adding other criteria. Click the Create tab on the ribbon. In the Queries group, click the Query Design button. A new blank query opens in Design View with a list of objects available in the database. In the Show Table box, the Clients table is highlighted by default. Click Add. The first step in creating a query in Query Design View is selecting the table or tables that store the fields of information you want to select for the query. Click Managers. Click Add. In the Show Table dialog box, click Close. If the tables have been related in the Relationships window, the one-to-many relationships between the tables also appear in Query Design View. Drag the client name field from the Clients field list to the first column of the query grid. Drag the phone field from the Clients field list to the second column of the query grid. Drag the last name field from the Managers field list to the third column of the query grid. You can add fields to the query in any order desired by dragging them to a query grid column. In the Results group on the ribbon, click the Run button. Running the query shows you the datasheet view for the fields and records that were selected in Query Design View. You can also run the query by clicking the Datasheet View button. Click the Save button. The Save As dialog box opens with a default query name highlighted. In the Save As dialog box, in the Query Name text box, type Manager Phones as the new query name. Click OK. Creating proper relationships between tables reduces redundant data and increases accuracy of data entry. Click the Database Tools tab on the ribbon. In the Relationships group, click the Relationships button. Access displays the Clients and Managers tables with a one-to-many relationship existing between the Manager ID fields. In the Relationships group on the Relationship Tools Design tab, click the Show Table button. The Show Table window opens with the Tables tab active and the Client Orders field highlighted by default. You will add the States table to the Relationships window. In the Show Table window, double-click States. To add a relationship to a table, the table must be added to the Relationships window. You can double-click to add a table or click the table and click Add. In the Show Table dialog box, click Close. Drag the State abbreviation field from the States table to the State field in the Clients table. The States and Clients tables participate in a one-to-many relationship because one record in the States table may be linked to many records in the Clients table using the common data in the linking fields. The Edit Relationships dialog box opens with options for creating the relationship. In the Edit Relationships dialog box, click the Enforce Referential Integrity checkbox. Click Create. A relationship line appears with a number 1 to indicate the one side of the relationship and the infinity symbol to demonstrate the many side. Creating a query in Design View is an easy way to display records in the view that best suit your needs. For example, you can use a query to view only the city and state for each client. Click the Create tab on the ribbon. In the Queries group, click the Query Design button. The Show Table dialog box opens, prompting you to add tables and/or queries to Query Design View. The Clients table is selected by default. In the Show Table dialog box, click Add. Excel displays the field list for the Clients table. In the Show Table dialog box, click Close. Drag the Client Name field from the Clients field list to the first column of the query grid. Drag the City field to the second column of the query grid.
Drag the state field to the third column of the query grid. On the Query Tools Design tab, in the Results group, click the Run button. Running the query shows you the datasheet view for the fields and records that were selected in Query Design View. You can run the query by clicking the Datasheet View or Run buttons. Click the Save button. The Save As dialog box opens, with a default query name highlighted in the Query Name text box. In the Save As dialog box, type Client Locations in the Query Name text box. Click OK. The new query is saved and appears in the navigation pane. It is likely that you will want to add a new table to your database at some point. You can use Table Datasheet View to add the fields you want as well as records. Click the Create tab on the ribbon. In the Tables group, click the Table button. Click the Click to Add Column heading. You will add new fields by selecting the data type and then entering the field name. Click Date and Time. Access creates a new field with a default field name. Type Comment Date and press Enter. Comment Date becomes the name for the new field, and the list of data types opens so you can create another field. Click Long Text. Type Comments and press Enter. Click the Save button. The Save As dialog box opens where you can enter a name for the new table. Type Client Comments in the Table Name text box. Click OK. The new table name appears in the tab in Table Datasheet View. Queries let you create custom views of fields and records, but adding AND criteria to your query can tailor your selection even further to precisely suit your needs. This enhances your ability to analyze your data. In the Query Design grid, click the cell on the Criteria row for the Manager ID field. You will enter the first of the two criteria in this cell. Type M-04 in the cell. The cell on the Criteria row for the State field. And criteria are entered on the same row of the query grid. Because both the Manager ID and State fields have a short text data type, Access surrounds query criteria for these fields with quotation marks after you click another cell. Type IL in the cell. This is the second of the two criteria. Click adjacent cell at the right in the query grid. On the Query Tools Design tab on the ribbon, in the Results group, click the Run button. Running the query selects the fields and records specified in Query Design View and displays them in Query Datasheet View. 3 records were selected where both criteria are true, a Manager ID value of M-04 as well as a State field value of IL. Queries let you create custom views of fields and records, but adding OR criteria can further tailor your selection to precisely suit your needs, thereby improving your data analysis. In the Design grid, click the cell on the Criteria row for the Manager ID field. The insertion point appears in the Criteria cell. Type M-01 in the Criteria cell. Because the Manager ID is a short text data type, Access will automatically enclose the query criteria with quotation marks after you click another cell.
Click the cell on the OR row for the state field. OR criteria are entered on different rows of the query grid, with the OR row being the second row for criteria. Type TX in the cell. Click the adjacent cell to the right in the query grid. Access and closes the query criteria TX with quotation marks. On the Query Tools Design tab on the ribbon, in the Results group, click the Run button. Running the query selects the fields and records specified in Query Design View and displays them in Query Datasheet View. 8 records were selected where either criterion is true, a manager ID value of M-01 or a state field value of TX.